everybody. Welcome back
to
another episode of the James Watson podcast.
If you've been here before, thank you. And if this your first time, welcome.
Exactly, funny enough with James Watson.
Still can't. I still don't like the idea that there's a podcast named after me.
James Watson your world, show. We just living it.
It's yeah, true.
It is your world, and we just living it.
Mother, if you're watching this, world does revolve around me after all.
Take that.
Just always say that. The world doesn't revolve around you. I say that to my own children actually as well.
Make sure your name's and lights up
there.
there.
Yeah, I guess we're getting my name and lights. Okay. All right. Perfect. So,
how are you? Thanks for dressing up for us today.
You're taking the mic. So, funny story. I'll tell you a quick story. On the way here, I've been obviously nothing to do in life, been super quiet.
Yes.
No sarcasm attached to that whatsoever. And I forgot to put my t-shirt in the car that I was wearing, so I had to stop off and buy a t-shirt. So, it actually worked out quite well because the t-shirt matches the colour.
Yeah, no, it's a vibe. I'm here for it. I like the colour. I approve.
I got a t-shirt I wouldn't have normally bought.
Yeah. And just while it's on camera, this is a colour that your wife has been trying to get you in for a while.
Yeah, she always picks up this colour and I'm like, nah, I'm not into that colour.
Moral of the story, Brody's always right.
I'm not going to admit that on camera.
Don't worry, Brody, we know it.
I seen her a funny meme last night and a boy's like, I want to marry my girlfriend. And the dad says to him, you need to apologise first. And he's like, what? And he's like, you need to say sorry. And he's like, what? And he's like, say sorry. And he's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Say sorry. And he's like, say sorry. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. For what? He says, your training for marriage is done. I said to my wife, she said, bag her face up. It's like, that's you ready to get married, son. Saying sorry for no reason whatsoever means you're now ready to be a man in a marriage. And I'm like, that's so true.
Pass the test.
Sometimes I'm apologised. I'm like, what am I apologising for? There's a couple of things for anybody that's not married when you do get married as a man. Right. I think you have to learn, and that's in sorry babe, yes babe, and right away babe.
I think that's a good starter pack.
This should be your automatic responses to everything you've in your life.
No, I feel like that's a great starting point. I'm here for it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't know what for, but whatever it was I done 3 months ago, sorry.
I'm here for it. Anyway, stunning shirt. Well done.
Thanks.
You've made a great life choice.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, today I thought we could do a life update, as people like to call them, a catch up. I feel like we haven't done an episode for a while when we just chat about life, where it is at the minute, what's going on in life right now. I feel like life has changed a little bit, I would say, in the last month specifically. Maybe changed, not the right word, but definitely ramped up.
Got busier.
Yes, the dial's been turned up a little bit in the last sort of month or so. Yep. So I feel like a good place to start is what's been happening recently, what's going on in life right now.
We're in growth mode.
Yeah.
Growth mode has been... So, on the last episode when we spoke about the first 8 months being like going up a mountain and try to get some momentum.
Yeah.
We've got that momentum, but what a lot of people do when they get momentum is they sit back and relax, and they'll get the same outcomes for less work. Whereas for me, when there's an easy way of doing this, I'll give a better analogy, and I'll explain a better analogy to this in a minute, is when things get good, that's when I go into super growth mode. So that's when I'm like, all right, let me capitalise on being good. So instead of getting momentum and something starting to kind of get its own life and me stepping back and let it just run, I keep up behind it and try to get it go.
Yeah, sort of double down on it, really.
Yeah, because inevitably things will stop at some point. Inevitably things will slow down at some point. So a lot of people get this mixed up. A lot of people, when things are hard, work, they triple down and work really hard to get themselves out. And when things are good, they relax. I do the opposite. When things are hard, I try and keep my energy and make sure that I'm preserving it and keeping it to do the controllables well. I don't burn myself out, because when things are hard, that's when you're in danger, I suppose, of getting what people would deem as a burnout, right? Or get overly tired or sick of things. When things are good, I double, triple down to make sure with that momentum, I get a lot more growth. So I've been doing longer hours than I've done in the past decade. I've been working more days than I've done in the past decade. I've been using more energy. I'm at the point every day where I feel like I could just lie on the floor curl up and go to sleep at any point of the day. So I've looked forward to my bed more in the past 3 weeks than I've ever had my whole entire life. So sleeping's a bit of a luxury just now.
So what does a typical day look like then at the minute? late morning, lie-in,
I'm
breakfast
laughing
in
because
bed.
it's wild. So we're building our agency. Obviously, that's kind of up. We had a goal this year to turn into a 7-figure agency. We're going to hit it, which is 6 figures a month. So for me, I think I say this in the podcast as well. And if you're on my LinkedIn, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I always talk about the last quarter setting me up for the next year. So we opened up. Obviously, we do business internationally. We started advertising in Meta to get leads and bring more business.
Yeah, up until a few months ago, it was all just all the clients with not through any ads or anything like that.
Yeah, when you're building a company from scratch, you don't have cash flow. And when you don't have cash flow, Meta ads are a luxury. So we built the company for the first 4 years through cold emails. Someone asked us the other day, like, how did you get this client? Well, like, email every week for 7 months until they says yes. Like, our thing with emails is we'll email you till you block us or we die. Yeah. It's just simple as that. Now that we got some cash flow on top of the emailing and the cold outreach and all the stuff we're doing, we can now spend money on advertising. But we opened ourselves up to the US market, the Canadian market and the Australian market. So obviously got all these different time zones. So my day typically right now starts at 5:30 when I get up in the morning. My first call this morning, my first call yesterday was 6 a.m. in the morning. I probably do an hour to an hour and a half of calls. I go to the gym and then the rest of my day is just manic dealing with the different companies and coaching that I do with people. So my last call last night was about 10 and I think my last call tonight's the same. And I got a 7 a.m. I've got a long lie tomorrow morning because my first call's 7 a.m.
Luxury.
And I sleep till 6:15.
I was going to say 7:15. I was like, there's a problem there.
Yeah. It's funny because for years I've never looked forward to the weekend to get a rest, but I'm at the point just now where when it comes to, I'll still work over the weekend, but by rest, I mean, we've not opened up the schedule for the calls early morning. So, I mean, my version of a long lie is 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see.
But I also think like weekends aren't really necessarily a typical. You're still really busy. I mean, the Saturday just passed, for example, we're in Manchester.
Sure.
All day running a seminar, had to leave because you had something with the kids Saturday night that you just could not miss. Like, you wouldn't have forgiven yourself if you missed that. So we had to leave, had to kind of rush out of Manchester. You sat
driving at the speed limit. If you're watching this, please Scotland.
Sat at your seat, ready for the performance with like a minute to spare or something before the kids went on stage.
3 minutes. I got 3
minutes.
3 minutes to spare. We had to leave Manchester at 2.
Yeah.
Get back to Johnston just outside Glasgow or at Glasgow Airport, and I had to have my bum on a seat for 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
If it was one daughter, it could be 3 of my young daughters in it. I'm glad I done it. It was exceptional, but it was an exhausting day.
Yeah.
I had done something I don't do a lot, which was eat a lot of sugar, just try to stay awake. You were in the car with me. I couldn't, staying awake was a challenge that whole day.
Not even my fantastic chat could keep you awake, really.
Nothing. I actually paid for it on the Sunday. I think on the Sunday during the day, again, for the first time in a long time, I think I fell asleep 3 times during the day. Yeah. I had to stop the car at some point, get my wife to drive back from a birthday party I was at so I could curl up and get a 20-minute nap. So it's really good. I enjoy that. My wife says I'm a psychopath and I live off adrenaline, but I love, even at 46 years old, which I am in, I don't know, 4 weeks or something like that. Like 4 weeks maybe, I'm 46 years old. I still get a kick. Knowing that I got up early, I went to bed late, and I gave it everything. And I was talking to my wife about this morning. I'm like, we're playing, and you and I have had this conversation. Like, she's like, this is really good. It's really exciting. All this stuff is happening in the company. And I'm like, yeah, the only downside is a lot is delayed gratification. Like, when it all equates to cash in the bank.
Yeah.
When it all equates to 5 years' time, when we hit our 5-year goals, which is to be at a 7-figure a month company, when we hit that as our 5-year game plan, then it'll probably start to be worth it. So I'm doing all this work just now with no change in life, no change in income. For me, I'm doing it just now knowing that in 5 years' time, when I'm turning 51, I'll be thankful that at 46, I'm still willing to go up and give it everything. My family are going on holiday on Saturday for 6 days, and I'm not even going because I'm too busy. Also supposed to be in a week and a half Dubai holiday in 2 weeks, which is now going to be a working holiday. It's just, I'll work from somewhere different in the sun, which will actually be nice.
So do you feel like that's then what fuels you? Is that what keeps you going? Is that kind of promise or the knowing of delayed gratification? What kind of keeps you going to be up at 5:30 for 3 sales calls back to back before you even start your day, and then still doing calls at 10:30? Like what fuels you and keeps you going during those times?
The honest answer, I love it.
Right.
I actually love it. It's like going to the gym. I love it. I love giving something. Now, there's a risk, there's a flip side, because there's delayed gratification, but you're one mistake away from being broke. You're one mistake away from the company going upside down. You're one person try to sue you for being, I was telling my wife this, there's still the risk it won't work. Still getting up I could go up and do all these calls at 6 a.m. It could equate to nothing. Do you know what I mean? I get up at 6 a.m. and 2 people didn't show up. That's life. So I like the risk. I like both. I like the idea that it's going to be amazing, but also like the adrenaline of this could get screwed up. Even as I'm talking to you just now, I says to you today, I'm scared to eat in case my energy comes down. Like I get a kick. And I suppose for anybody watching this and understand, like we're supposed to do this. Human beings are supposed to get up and move and evolve and produce and go for it. And actually, there's things, and don't quote me on, chemistry or biology or whatever we're going to talk about, but to put it plainly, your body rewards you when you do this. Yes, I could fall down and go asleep, but whilst I'm standing up, I'm not tired because my body keeps feeding me dopamine and it keeps giving me test and keeps giving me all this energy because it knows I need it. Just like your body will burn fat instead of muscle when you go to the gym every day because your body knows you need the muscle because you're going to go to the gym. So it's quite weird, I suppose, for me. Like, the harder I work, the more energy I have and the happier I am. Like, I'm in my element. So that's why I say I love it.
And how do you feel like you juggle everything? Just to paint a picture for everyone of a couple of days last week. So Friday morning, 6:30 left the house to drive down to Manchester. Went and parked in a car park that was close to the hotel that we were in on Saturday so we could get away quickly. I was being a princess and refused to walk in the rain. So I made us get an Uber.
Oh, what?
Yeah. 25 minutes walk in the rain and I had a suitcase.
It's soothing.
Anyway, I was being a princess and refused to walk in the rain, so I made us get an Uber. But the whole Uber ride, you were on a call for the digital marketing agency, walked into our office in Manchester, had to go straight into sales mode because we were in our sales office, wasn't there, and then had to take a pause from that to then interview somebody from Brazil back for the digital marketing agency, then back into sales mode to go through pay reports and everything, back to the hotel to do sales calls for the digital marketing agency, and then Saturday morning up straight away running a whole seminar for a bunch of kind of young entrepreneurs, back in the car, back up and then in family mode with the kids because you had to be there for the show. So you had to switch, or you currently are having to switch really quickly from thing to thing to thing, and everything that you're doing, you have to be really present. If there's 50 entrepreneurs sat in a room on Saturday for you to talk about, the importance of being a leader and leading people, your head can't be in that sales call last night or can't be at I hope I make it tonight for the kids. You have to be really present. So how do you manage with that juggling, and how do you manage from hanging up a call as you step into a sales office and go into sales mode straight out of digital marketing mode?
I don't juggle. I'm going to explain this to you because I don't multitask and I don't juggle, because juggling you get mixed up because you put all the balls in. When I'm done with one ball, I put it down, pick another one up and deal with it and throw it up and down just to stay in the juggling point here. I've got exceptional. You can't do 2 things at once. When you do, you get messed up. So if I'm running a seminar, my head's in a sales call or an interview with somebody else, I suppose the easiest way to explain it is I'm always in the now. I've learned to focus on the 2 foot in front of me, and if something's in the future or something's in the past, it's irrelevant. It is completely and utterly irrelevant. I've just learned to be, if I'm at lunch with my wife I'm at lunch with my wife. If I'm doing an interview, I'm in the interview. If I'm on a sales call, I'm a sales guy. If I'm running a seminar, I'm the guy who's doing the public speaking, trying to add value to everybody else. So this is through studying people like Elon Musk. I look at people look at me from the outside in and go, how do you do all that? But I'm like, it's nothing compared to, somebody like Musk who can sit for 18 hours doing 5-minute interviews straight.
Yeah.
So I suppose for me, one, the mistake people make is they compare themselves to the wrong people. I've got people I'm trying to be as good at. So for me, that's still nothing in the scale of business. I get people that balance way more than me. So that might seem like a lot to a lot of people. But to me, I'm like, it's nowhere near even some of the people I talk to and the things that they deal with every single day. So I think it's learning how to put a different hat on. Another way you could use it is it's someone that's playing 7 different characters a day who can switch, go into the back, get a different, a costume on and come back out and play a different role. So you got to play all these wee different roles in your life. So I don't like you can't multitask. You can't do it because if I multitask, I've only got 100% right. So if I'm thinking about 2 things, I'm splitting that energy between 2. I never do that. I just give 100% of my energy to whatever the heck I'm doing at that very moment. And if I'm driving, right? If I'm in the gym, I'm in the gym, and I don't try and cross things over. I'm getting better still at making sure there's quality over quantity. So I might have 45 minutes with my wife today, which is really scarce. But I need to make sure when I go into those 45 minutes, I'm present. My phone will be off. So if you try and get me later on today, you're not going to get me in the phone for those 45 minutes. I turn my phone off. I take a breath. When I actually pull up to go for lunch, I'll take 2 minutes to come away from whatever I'm thinking. And this is another thing I do actually, which I'll teach you in 2 wee seconds. But I come away from who I am in the car. I take 2 minutes and wrap my head around, go be a good husband, go in and ask how my wife's day is and slow down and listen and again, keep my phone away because if my phone buzzes, I'll get distracted, which is really rude, right? It's one of the things I teach people in my coaching is have little 5-minute breaks in between using your different hats. So if I'm training people in sales, but then jumping in, interviews after it, right? They're 2 different hats I have to wear.
Yeah.
If you jump from one to the other, you take one character into the next one, which can be quite dangerous and you won't do it well. And that's when people are like, I'm doing too much. I feel like I'm multitasking and doing all these things and I'm juggling things. No. There's a switch off. I take 5 minutes. I take a breath. I wind down for who that person is. And then I wind myself up to being the next version of myself that I have to be. Even playing dad, when I go home, I do the same thing. I have to get in the character, I suppose. Commit the character I'm in, get myself into the next character, then go. All right, I get 45 minutes to play this person. Then after that, I come down, and then for the next years, I have to go play that person. I don't lose energy. I don't feel like I'm multitasking. I don't feel like I'm doing too much.
No, I would agree. I feel like although things have definitely ramped up and things have definitely got busier, I still feel like fortunately or unfortunately, depending how you look at it, I've spent a lot of time with you. But there has been no change of you being like still very present and stuff, and still being like Saturday, I think it's one of the best seminars that you've run in ages. You're actually quite funny at that one.
Thanks.
The info was really good.
Funny in general. Can I just say here, I'm quite funny in general.
But even, I think, I'm only ever nice on this podcast, so it's really uncomfortable for me.
You're really nice of me this first week. You've been throwing compliments everywhere.
I always think you deal with things very well. I always think you do very good with pressure and like it's not balancing also because you've spoken before about how it's not really a balance. It's just where needs the love. It's like a weighted scale. But I definitely think you are very good at, you haven't changed at all. You still have time for jokes. You still have time for a bit of banter. Yep. You went straight from a sales call on Friday night, went for food, and you were very present in that. And so it's not just words that he says. He definitely is living by it, I would say.
I think also if you're, as you say, banter and jokes there, I think you've got to.
Yeah.
We had a lady from New York on a sales call the other day, and at the end of the 30-minute, Harris and I, who's co-founder of one of the companies, were on the call, and she literally says, "This is the best and the most entertaining call I've been on in 5 years," because we're not corporate, we're not stuck up. One of the things I always tell people is I take what I do extremely seriously. Whether I'm coaching people, I'm driving sales, I'm doing sales calls myself, we're dealing with fulfillment and the digital side. I think whatever, I take it really serious. I don't take myself serious. I think when you start to take yourself serious and you don't have banter, that again makes the work sent feel 10 times heavier.
Yeah.
You got to have some fun. You got to enjoy it. Now, do I enjoy what I do as in some of the tasks? Do I get excited about doing a sales call at 6 in the morning? No, I don't. I don't get excited about it. So it's not necessarily enjoying what you're doing. I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just having a great time with me. And sometimes when I'm having banter, I'm not doing it to entertain the person I'm talking to. I'm doing it to entertain myself, to make sure I'm still having some fun and I'm doing it. So it's something that I was actually taught it years ago. I was actually taught as it was. It's not natural. Again, we've spoke a lot about things not being natural.
You've been taught to be funny.
Not funny, just enjoy myself. Someone told me if people were laughing at me, I was doing my job properly when I was dealing with people. Because if you want to get people to like you as well and you're funny, again, for me, after the seminar, when you says it, a lot of the jokes are is planned. I don't do it. It's not impulsive. Don't get me wrong, some things are off the cuff and impulsive on the spot, but for all the big things, it's actually part of the talk to keep people engaged and keep people entertained.
So do you stand in the mirror before you left the hotel room practicing jokes?
No, I don't practice jokes. I don't practice much for these seminars. I've been coaching people for such a long time. I generally, I did not write one thing for those 2 hours I spoke. I went to write down and for anybody watching this, if you ever see me write things down before I go to do some public speaking or some coaching, I'm doing that more to look like I'm prepared rather than just winging it. But I'm like, I went to do it Saturday. Well, I'm not going to. That's one of the things just now, because I do have a lot on, is I take away anything that uses any energy that I deem as a waste of time. I went to write it down and I'm like, why am I writing this? There's no value. I know all this stuff off by heart. I can talk from the heart. I can talk genuinely. I know all this stuff because I'm actually an expert in the things I talk about.
Yeah.
I don't need notes to refer back to do coaching with people. So I suppose another tip when you're this busy is I eliminate everything from my life that doesn't give me a return on investment, which doesn't make me feel better energy-wise. I don't deal with people that drain energy. I actually cut people or things out of my life when I'm like this. And just any wee task that I'm doing for the sake of doing it, I don't do.
So how do you then, I suppose, manage would maybe be the right word, because I know you don't really agree with the notion of like balance, work-life balance or whatever, which we've spoken about in another episode. You can go find that. Or you're saying kind of juggling. How do you then manage being, the digital agency needs a lot of love and attention from you right now, but so does the sales business. That still needs loads and loads of love. You still have all these different people that you're coaching. You've still got family that obviously it's really important for you to give your time to. You've got a trip coming up in a few weeks' time. I was going to call it a holiday, but I knew you'd say something, so I changed it.
The first 3 days of a holiday, I'm with my wife and my 21-year-old. I'm going to chill.
So it's a present for your 21-year-old for her birthday to go away with you guys.
Yep.
But with what it's all looking like right now, there probably is a chance you will have to do some calls and do some stuff then. So how do you manage all these different things so nothing feels like it's been dropped or it's not as important or it's not as...
I put boundaries in place with times. So we'll be in Dubai, which is 3 hours in front. My daughter likes sleeping late. So any calls that I do this with my children. Like when I'm on holiday or I'm with my family, I'll get up before everybody else gets up and I'll do whatever calls and work. They don't even know I'm doing work. They don't. I make sure in their eyes I'm completely present.
Yeah.
But when my daughter will stay up late, no doubt, but she won't get up early. in the old Brody when we're away. They'll enjoy a wee long lie.
Yeah.
So I'll just make sure anything I need to get done will get done before they come up, so it doesn't interrupt my time with them. I think it's prioritising as well, and just prioritising your time. One of the best things for me since I was 23 and I was self-employed was being able to write my own schedule.
Yeah.
So I'll make sure that my schedules don't cross over when I'm with my family. When it's actually planned family time, I'll not do anything, but there'll be boundaries there with times. And you know as well as anybody else, I'll tell everyone my phone will be off between this hour and that hour. Even when I'm away with my family, when I'm doing stuff like this, there'll be an hour in the day that I agree that I can go do calls or go check emails and things like that. And it's usually around when they're doing something. Like I've got 3 young girls, so when they're getting dressed to go for dinner, it's a 3-hour session. Do you know what I mean? It's this process. I do 2 things when we're on holiday. When my kids are getting ready, or my daughters and my wife are getting ready, I either go for a sleep, go do another workout, or go do some work, because they're all kicking.
You've got the time.
Yeah, I've got the time. So I'm good at getting the time before or during when I'm away, but it's all scheduled and planned, and I keep a tight control on it. And I'm extremely strict with it. It's non-negotiable.
Yeah. I think just making sure everything is still important and is still prioritised when it needs to be.
Yeah, one of the downsides to running companies or building companies, and it's a 24/7, 7-day-a-week thing. There is no, if your business allows you to go away and switch your phone off and be on holiday, great. But it's one of the downsides that people expect to be different, because a lot of people, when you ask why they want to, I remember asking a 23-year-old once, he's like, I'd like to be an entrepreneur, and I took a holiday in like 3 years this time. I remember laughing at the poor boy. I was like 28, 29, and I generally hadn't been on holiday in years because I was just so busy, which, looking back, I probably should have done some more time with the family. But at that time, I wasn't good at all this stuff. I was just like, work. And he's like, I'd like to go on lots of holidays. I just laughed, and I'm like, someone lied to you. People running the place don't go on lots of holidays. They don't. They maybe travel a lot. But again, that's why when we say, I just work from a different postcode. I'm traveling a lot, I'm on planes a lot, but it just means I'm working from somewhere completely different. I wouldn't, again, we do this all the time, like how many holidays do I actually get?
You're never here.
Just, be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah. No, I do. I think it's also just knowing what's important in life and having those non-negotiables. Like being there on Saturday for the girls is a non-negotiable. Being present for Amy on holidays is a non-negotiable.
Nope.
Is doing the school run in the morning a non-negotiable? No. So that's, you know what I mean? So I think
that's a luxury.
That's
that's something nice I can do. And I think this is another thing for everyone. When I get free time, I know where to put it. So I know what needs love. So you talk about that unbalanced.
Yeah.
Like if my personal life is unbalanced like it is just now, like today when my wife gone for lunch, like if I can find an hour, I make sure I go give that hour to whatever needs balance. Like if I'm too busy and can't go to the gym, then I get a spare hour that I'm going to go do a workout. Something's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'll steal these wee 10 minutes with things or 30 minutes with things. And sometimes when I get an hour, I just do nothing.
Yeah.
I just sit. My wife calls this weird, but it's me. I can't remember what I says to the other day. I'm like, I just need an hour to reset. I need my wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, breathing. And she's like, are you all right? And I'm like, I'm just trying to regulate my brain and my body, because I was lying on my PMF mat actually, and she's like, is that even on? I'm like, nope. I'm just lying there doing nothing. And it was like a 30-minute in between stuff, and I'm just trying to make sure that my body's really good and I'm good so I can function. So when I do get spare time, I make sure I use that on whatever I feel like is something that's going to kind of bring the scales back up, right? So if I'm getting tired and I'm getting drained, I need to then take those spare minutes to do things that bring my energy back up so I don't hit a wall.
Yeah. No,
Not that I think I'll ever hit one, but maybe doing this when I'm 80. I'm telling you.
So something that I also did want to cover today and talk about today, which
you look like you're really excited about this question.
Yes, I am.
Your whole demeanour changed there.
No, only because
it's like you're put in the spot.
No.
It's that kind of smile.
No, it's because I think a lot of the people that might be watching us that work with us in the sales world and are part of that kind of the sales company will find this very interesting. But obviously been in the sales industry for 23 years.
3 years this December. December 13th this year will be 23 years.
you've done sales quite a bit.
Sold some stuff.
You obviously are very actively involved in coaching a lot of people right now in sales. I have a big sales company that spans across various different cities and stuff. So no one's saying you're not involved in sales. However, the last month or so, you've been back in the trenches, as you could say.
Yep.
You've actually been the one doing sales calls. The last time you yourself maybe did traditional sales was 10 years ago, 10 years ago?
8 years ago.
But you're back in the hot seat. I was off by 1 year. I'm so sorry. You're back in the hot seat now. You're back to dealing with people not showing up at 6 a.m. when you've woken up specifically for it.
Salesman.
You're back to people on a call saying that they love it and this is so excited to get started, and then they disappear and we never hear from them again. I would know. I'm the one who sends the emails.
Yep.
So how has that been? How has that felt the last month or so, being back in the trenches, as you could say?
I'm going to say the same phrase again. I love it. I get a kick. It's great. I don't care. I got the feel sorry for you face for your co-founder the other week. It's like, I scheduled my whole day. I had to change my whole day. You were with me
in
Manchester.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go home to see my kids, and someone rescheduled a sales call, and I rescheduled my whole entire day. Mm-hmm. Had to tell my kids I wouldn't be home for dinner. And then they never showed up. I was 6 a.m. yesterday morning to do a call, and there was a no-show. And then there was another no-show. And I didn't even blink an eyelid, because when people say to me, "Oh, that's a shame," I'm like, that's sales. It's rejection. Sales is a game of being rejected more than getting a yes. That's life. How many people need to see a commercial for somebody to go buy the product, right? That's rejection. How many people have to get exposed to a meta ad for somebody to go on and buy something? How many doors do you need to knock to get? You're never going to get more yeses than no's. More people get into Ferrari and look at Ferraris and buy Ferraris.
Right.
Rejection. So if you don't turn up, or you do turn up, I know inevitably, no matter how good my product is, how good my service, my fulfillment, my reputation, that somewhere along the conversation, more people are going to say no than yes. If you don't turn up, that to me is just you saying no. It's just a nice way of dinner. So I don't mind that. I don't get upset when people don't turn up. I keep saying this wee phrase right now. This is the life I chose. If I'm choosing to sell a product or a service and someone rejects it, don't get me wrong, I'm always trying to figure out how to get more people to buy and more people to show up and all this kind of stuff. I'll put things in place to some damage control to have as little friction as humanly possible. Obviously, I'd rather everybody says yes, but if you're choosing the life of sales, you're choosing the life of people lying to you. We used to say buyers are liars, right? Usually the one the most excited is the one that's not going to show, right? They're just like, yeah, it sounds awesome, it sounds great. Just, let's do it next week, and I never hear from them again. But I find it quite funny, because sales is like sport. I've been doing it 23 years. I was actually talking to people. I was 6 a.m. call this morning. I had a call with a lovely couple in Canada, got their own skincare brand, which is awesome. It's called Future Face. Quite catchy wee thing, your future face, right? Future you. I like that, because I talk a lot about future you and thinking about future you, and it's future face. So I kind of thought it was quite quirky.
Yeah.
I got bloody lost my chain. I thought, talk about people, and they're talking about what you get experience in, and I'm like, I've experienced in everything. A product's a product, but human behaviours haven't changed.
Yeah.
The only thing that's changed in the past 23 years is our ability to stay patient, because we live in a world of instant gratification, and the buying behaviour of people online are at a door. Their attention spans became a lot shorter because of social media. But what gets a person excited, excuses, the reasons why people buy or don't buy, they've not evolved in 23 years. So for me, it's quite funny, because the world's very different. Cars are different. Technology's different. It's moved forward, but we might dress different. Culturally, we might be a wee bit, PC than we're used to being, accepting than we're used to being different cultures. But a human being's still a human being. So I find it quite entertaining. And I also love the different personality types that I get when I'm talking to people. So,
and I think that's the thing. And I think that's something that I've really noticed, is that regardless of the person, regardless of the product, and also regardless of their personality type, you always come away from a conversation having really enjoyed it because you were just talking to people and you were just having a conversation with someone and getting to know a person, and you always come off and psychoanalyze them, and this is the type of person they are and this is their style, so this is how we should approach it, or send a follow-up email or whatever. And I think it is very interesting that I don't think it is a spiel. I think you do genuinely just love those conversations, and I think you have to just say it to be in sales. If you don't enjoy that type of thing, don't do sales.
Yeah,
it's not for you.
I fell in love with selling when I was 23 because I've always seen it. And I remember seeing it my first day, and I looked at the girl and I'm like, so you're going to pay me to talk to people every day? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, this is so much fun because we're all really weird and wonderful. We're all very different. You don't get bored when you're dealing with people all the time. And what did you call it? Psychoanalyzing there? I was actually chatting with Harris the other week and we were talking about our gifts. Call him the online wizard. And he says something really nice to me, actually. He's like, your gifts, people. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just your ability to read a person, know how to deal with them. And I wouldn't even say it's a gift. I would say because I enjoy it and I've been doing it so long and honed in on it. Because if I'm in sales, my business is people.
Yeah.
That my ability to sell to a person is my ability to talk to you, read you, analyze you, and then figure out my best road for success, because everybody's completely different. Right? Some people have to talk a lot, some people have to talk less, some people have egos you need to stroke, some people are, don't, or the opposite, you need to build their confidence and all this kind of stuff. And the other thing, the reason why I really enjoy sales is the people that say yes make the people that say no worth it.
Yeah.
Sales actually gave me faith in humanity. When I started sales, when I was 23, it was at a point where I thought the world was just a big, horrible, miserable place. And then when I done sales, you get a lot of really horrible, miserable people along the way, not because they are naturally horrible, miserable people. They're just in a horrible, miserable place, especially in the UK where it's all grey and especially this time of year, right, when it gets dark and it's wet. But when you do find that winner, when you do find that nice client, when you do get that nice yes, it makes it all worth it. It's not different from sport and winning a world championship worth all the pain you went through. I can only imagine. I'm not a world champion at anything.
At sales.
I actually seen a really nice quote, and I just want to share it with everybody. And it was and it's probably the best way to go into sales, or if you are somebody who's selling your own product or service to consumers, direct to or B2B, or you just work in a sales role and selling someone else's stuff. But it was actually a world champion darts player who said that. And he says the trick to being a world champion is to train like it means everything, but play like it means nothing. I'm like, what a great way of looking at it. Because behind closed doors, when I'm learning, when I'm training, when I'm honing in on my craft, I'm really serious.
Yeah.
I'm not fun. I'm a perfectionist. Everything has to be good. Like, you talk about in the mirror, the amount of times I'm walking about the house, my wife's like, you're literally having a full-blown conversation with you. And I'm like, I'm practicing my conversations, right?
I sat the other day trying to figure out and nail sending follow-up emails to people.
So that because when I train like it means everything. It's like, I can't screw this up. Mm-hmm. But when I'm in the conversation, it looks like I don't give a shit. I'm like, whatever. It's called excited indifference.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in sales, you have to be like that. I think when you're in entrepreneurship, you have to be like that. And that came from a world champion gone, because when he's playing, he's having all this fun.
Yeah.
But he's like, when I train really hard, but then I play like it means nothing. I cut me deep. I went like this. Oh.
I can confirm because I've heard about 75 times. Really clung on to that one.
It was actually the show that's about Eddie Hearn on Netflix.
I know,
if you
I've heard
haven't watched that, no, for the people watching this, if you haven't watched that about Eddie and Barry Hearn, then watch it. I always watch documentaries looking for a bit of inspiration, and it's really fun even watching them build a £1 billion valued sports company.
Yeah,
they deal with all the same crap that always deal with when we're trying to build businesses. So when I watch documentaries like that, it makes me feel better about how I feel sometimes. It makes me feel better about the good stuff and the bad stuff. You see the wins and you see the losses, but I'm always looking for an education. And that really put a nice spin on things I already teach to people. Yeah. Train like it means everything, but play like it means nothing.
There's a new documentary on, I'm going to say Disney, that you might enjoy. You could probably learn some stuff from. It's called Sneakers, and it's about the Adidas and Puma split.
Oh,
and like
wow.
what it did to like the town, and it's really interesting.
I'll watch that.
Anyway, last question that I wanted to end on before we finish today. But we were talking last night after one of your calls, I think, that you were doing, and you said something that was really interesting. I think it'd be good to touch on today for everybody. But there's been a common thread that you've seen through a lot of your sales calls, and there's been sort of a common, I guess, problem, you could say, across all your sales calls, or you've realized something about the people that you're talking to, and that was the lack of trust.
Yep.
Why do you think that is? And as a person, why do you think that's more prevalent now than it has been before? And how are you kind of counteracting that?
I'll go with the counteracting part for me is really easy. We live in a trust recession. Technology's done that to us. AI's done that to us. Maybe your government's done that to people in the past 5 years with all the things that have went on or not went on, and we just live in a trust recession. Everybody thinks everybody's a scammer. Everybody thinks that politicians aren't telling the truth all the time. So trust has always been a thing that you had to gain from people. You always had to gain trust from people to get their business.
Yeah.
I think now more than ever, people don't trust anything. I'll give you an example. I mean, a lovely lady. I'll not name names and what, but we were in a sales call the other day. She was excited. She's got an unbelievable brand. She knows she needs help. She was lovely. We were lovely. We were vibing the whole time, right? We could tell we all got on really well. She runs a really successful brand. And she says, I just got some questions at the end. And we had an ad up with one of our clients. And she says, how do I know that ad was real? And we laughed. And we're like, fair play. She went, you just don't know these days.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, we'd been with a client a couple of weeks before and had a selfie. And we're like, this is literally a photo of us with the person we're saying that we work with, right? And she went, okay, fair play.
Yeah.
And so even with my wife now, if I show her anything exceptional, so if I find this exceptional video with somebody doing some sort of cool calisthenics, my wife looks at me sometimes and goes, that's AI. And I'm like, everything's not fake, but this is
what to believe they do.
This is the world we live in now. No one believes anything. Again, it's you look at it from a biased point of view as well, right? So I think gaining trust, but how do I counter that? It's really easy. I'm just me.
Yeah.
We're just, the amount of times we've had comments when we jump on calls and people see that we don't give a shit. We're just really honest and truthful. If we don't know something, we'll admit to not knowing it.
Yeah.
I've always done that in sales.
Yeah.
When people, I think that's an easy way to build trust with people, is when someone asks you a question, you're not confident with the answer. You say, that's a really good question. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know the answer to that, even to your own detriment where you might lose a sale. Counter to that, actually, I've never lost a sale because of this. So I go, that's a really good question, Amanda. I've got to be really honest with you. I don't know the answer to that at all. But what I can do is I can go away and we can jump back on another call, or I can come back to your house and see you and I'll get an answer for you. How does that sound?
Authentic, isn't it?
Just being honest and just being real. So I think a lot of the time, I think your story has to match. There has to be consistency. My mum used to always say, to be a good liar, you have to have a good memory.
Yeah.
So the second you think about in conversations, like I've got to have the same consistent personality, the same consistent story, the same word. And it's easy to be consistent if you're being authentic.
Yeah.
I don't ever tell someone anything that I can't back up in a courtroom, and never tell a story that never happened. Because if I tell that again and it didn't happen and I made it up, the chances of me changing it are pretty good. So we've even had people jump on calls and go, I like your work, I don't need to hear about it, I want to buy, I just want to make sure you weren't douchebags. That was it, because we got a world full of douchebags that are just, and as the world becomes more expensive and people become more desperate, people start cutting more corners and doing things that they shouldn't do. Every industry's full of restaurants cut corners, clothing manufacturers cut corners. There's always people that are going to try and cut corners, just try desperation, just try to survive, right? So for us, I think I'd rather not get the business because I have to do things morally, professionally, and I haven't to date ever says anything I couldn't stand in a courtroom and back up. people can feel that authenticity.
Yeah.
You can tell when someone's being fake because your intuition will tell you. You might always not consciously think it, but you just get a feeling like something was off with what that person was doing. It's actually been proven that when you're being authentic, it gives off the highest frequency of positive energy from anything else that you do. So
science lesson for everyone.
Yeah, Gary Brecker, I think I got that from. I'm not gonna claim that was me done it, but I remember watching something. I'm sure it was. Don't quote me who, but I remember seeing that, and I think if you're just being authentic and truthful, it's really easy to get trust. But you can't. Not even a white lie can exist in your conversations, especially if you're doing sales.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think it was really good to hear an update of where you're at right now, and I think it's also really good for everyone that you coach in sales to also hear that you still go through some of the same stuff as them, and although it's at a bit of a different scale, and sales are sales, people are people, like we always say. And I think although it's busy right now, and I think life is really busy, I think you are probably really enjoying it, and you are getting such a buzz from it because you are back dealing with people a lot more and stuff like that.
I'm on a 5-year run of this.
Yeah.
I told my wife this morning I need an IV drip every morning.
Stunning.
She went, I think that's a good idea.
It's not high maintenance at all.
I just need the nutrients in my body to make sure I function at this level for as long as humanly possible. I'm not going to slow down anytime soon.
Well, I enjoyed it. Fantastic outfit choice from you today. I've enjoyed chatting to you today.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
As the George t-shirt choice, right?
I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the outfit. But thank you so much. Where can everybody find you?
In the next episode.
I mean, you do have an outfit change if you want. You do. Where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram, _James_Watson. And you can also find me on TikTok if you like.
Who are you on LinkedIn?
James Watson.
So what he said is not true.
On Instagram, I says on Instagram.
Yeah, and LinkedIn. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything.
You can find me on YouTube, Spotify.
_James_Watson.
Apparently, we just discovered that we can actually put this video on Spotify today as well. So,
Yeah, we discovered we can do it. We don't know how yet, but that's a later problem.
Now we know. We'll figure out how.
Yes.
And it will get
Maybe you're
done.
watching this on Spotify.
But yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Thanks for listening to his babble. I hope you get some value. And we'll see you again next time. Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Ciao.